Hello and welcome to Survive the Unexpected with your host Frank Pacino and one of my partners in crimes, James Hansen. Today we are talking about the double split tribal or double eviction split house twist of Big Brother 24. I feel like we're gonna have a split house going forward, and it should be interesting to see. I feel like the season's been pretty good about the way the house has shifted a few times and kept us on his toes. So I know me and you were going back and forth on the Joseph thing. I just felt like Joseph was in trouble,
You were right.
and Joseph ended up going home. I had a feeling either him or Monty were gonna go home, and when I seen the way the house is split, I just like, oh man, Joseph is a goner. Um, I know you're sad. Joseph is probably your favorite.
He was my favorite. Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I think he was a strong player and a likable guy. I don't think he's the biggest fan of the show going in, but I think he kind of was learning on the fly. But I think he established himself really well, and basically he kind of just got screwed by the twist. But I did like the twist because the house needed to shake up a little bit because the leftovers were starting to get a little bit boring. So
yeah, I think the twist. I would have much rather had the twist be randomized or something like that than schoolyard pick. But it
yeah,
ended up working out best for production's sake. They got lucky that it worked out the way it did, um, to say the least. So we have Joseph gone, Jasmine gone. I know you're not too sad about Jasmine leaving.
not at all. I mean, I wish she didn't even make the jury, but I'm not gonna miss hearing her like just cringy voice and act like I don't even know if it's a real accent. Like every time she goes to the diary room, it's just oh
You didn't like her country accent and all
no.
her butter beans and all her confessionals.
Yeah, it wasn't even just the country accent. It's a lot of it's like the her like catchphrases and stuff were just annoying, and I don't know. She might have not been the worst player on the season, but she wasn't great in that regard either. I would say. Uh, I mean, it, keeping Monty in that scenario, obviously, like they could have gotten rid of a bigger threat, but I mean, I think it worked out for Monty with Taylor and Brittany having the only two votes, really. So
Right. Look, we had the house split, and Michael and Brittany going into this week. They wanted to be able to play the middle, but I don't think that's an option. I think we have a split house going into next week, and we're just waiting for the HOH results, and this is going to be a huge HOH week. Whoever wins will probably shape the house going forward into the end of the game. Um, if Taylor or Monty win, Kyle's almost a goner unless he wins the veto. If the other side wins, Michael or Monty are almost gone. So
yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see because they did talk about not putting Michael up initially and then backdooring him. So
So do you think that that seems to be a theme this season, especially? I feel like the HOH is nominating. They're not nominating their actual target first because they want that person to not compete in the veto comp, and
mm,
they know it's a better chance to backdoor them. So
right,
like
yeah.
that's kind of how I felt about the whole season. So if they did that to Michael, I wouldn't be totally surprised, especially given his how good he is at comps. Really,
I mean, that's probably the best option going forward if you're that side of the house to get rid of Michael before he gets to six, where he can play in every veto moving forward. So no matter what, he has at least one chance to save himself.
and
And he's won every competition that he pretty much participated in. So,
and I mean Brittany's never gonna turn on him either.
mm.
I don't know about. I think everyone else probably would at some point at least, but I don't know.
No, I think Taylor and Brittany had an agreement that at three they would try to win. If they won, they would take each other.
That would make sense.
Um, and they feel like whoever voted Michael out there would probably win the game,
Do
which is
you
a fair
see
statement.
do you see a very clear path for Taylor to win now, or do you think that? Because I
If
see a
she's with
better path.
Brittany, she has a real good chance of winning. Um, but the problem is the problem is that you have these big players that you perceive people as Michael, Kyle, Monty, and as long as these people are in the game, she will be able to hide, but
That's
she
why I think she's positioned pretty well.
yeah,
But
she will not be able to win the game if those people stay in towards the end of the game.
yeah,
If she's sitting with a Michael, Kyle, or Monty, she's probably not going to win the game. Maybe Kyle if people are just so bitter towards him.
I think his chances of winning have very much plummeted.
It all depends on how bitter everyone is. I mean, they say one thing, but going to the vote is another thing. So until they actually vote bitter, it's hard to say that they're not going to vote for him.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't see. I know he duped Joseph, but I don't know if Joseph is really going to be a super bitter juror. But
Right.
I see if Kyle can get to the end, I feel like he's going to burn bridges like the rest of the game, basically. But I do think I think he'll be possibly sent home next week. Really,
Yeah. Like I said, it all depends. It all depends on who wins HOH. Whoever wins HOH really decides the game moving forward, and that's the big swing moment here. I feel like going into this week we could literally see a clear path on who's going to probably win the game.
I think that this is probably easy to say, but I think this is the biggest HOH of the season
Oh,
by
by
far.
far, by far. It's like it's not even close. I don't think we've had a split house like this down the middle in so long. Like, and both sides know it's split down the middle. Like
Yeah.
Big Brother 20, it was split down the middle, but the other side had no idea what the other side who was on the other side. So
All
it's
right, so
it,
let's just play this out.
okay,
All so Michael and Terrence can't aren't eligible for HOH
right.
because yeah. So all right, so that's basically means that uh, it's like 50-50 on what side will win.
Hmm. So
So
we have Taylor, Brittany, and Monty on one side, and then on the other side we have Turner, Kyle, and Alyssa on the other
yeah,
side. And to me, the Kyle side sounds more competition based, depending on the comp. Um, that sounds like the more appealing side to me.
yeah. I mean, unless if it's something like super physical, maybe Taylor or Monty could win, but uh, I don't know. Like Turner's kind of good at like those weirdish
Hmm.
comps, and same with Kyle. I feel like they kind of have an edge there. I don't like Alyssa. I think she's the only one out of those people who hasn't won a thing yet. I think she's the only one left in the game who hasn't won anything.
Right.
Is that
Yeah.
true? I'm trying to.
Um.
I think so.
Yeah, because Terrence won this week. Kyle's won a veto. Turner's won a HOH.
Terrence won HOH and the veto.
Hmm. And then you have Taylor, who's won an HOH. So yeah, she's Alyssa's the only one who's not won a competition so far.
Yeah,
What a week for her to make her win her first one. That's for sure.
yeah. I mean, definitely. But so you it's clear we think, at least you think, that the twist from last week has totally divided the house. Like you don't think there's any chance that it won't be that way.
No, I feel like people will try to save themselves if they don't win their side wins HOH, but I think these sides are pretty firm, and that if one of these four win it, they're going to target two of the other four. There's no chance of them targeting somebody from their own side, I don't think.
All right, I'll backtrack a little back into tonight's eviction.
Okay.
So, did you think there was any chance that, obviously, we knew Alyssa was going to vote to evict Joseph? Did you think there was any chance that uh, Turner was going to vote to evict Kyle and make Terrence make that decision?
0%.
Okay,
Chance.
I didn't think so either. But
Because Joseph did an awful job at pleading his case. They gave his best moments on the show, but during on the feeds, he he pleaded by saying, "Look, I know I know Monty's probably there for because Michael and Brittany approached me and Taylor about being a Final Four, and I of course I said no, but like so I know Monty's gonna get involved with that. So basically, and Joseph got caught earlier saying the only reason why I was part of the Five Swatters was because I don't turn down alliances, like literally in the same conversation. So the man lied and said I had to Final Four with Michael, Brittany, and Taylor, and but he goes, they're gonna target me though. They're gonna target me. He's like, they're not gonna target you, Joseph. So he had too many friends on the other side. Uh, Joseph was always going to be able to work with those people over the people that were on the outside. And Kyle is for sure going to be a target. Alyssa is going to be for sure be a target. And Turner's going to be more neutral. But if you're Terrence and you're Turner, like those two are going to get targeted over you two. So why get rid of Kyle and then Terrence is the next probably person to go.
yeah, I think it totally makes sense. I mean, it would have been very interesting. Like, I think Terrence, there was no chance of it happening because Terrence would have still just sent Joseph out the door.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, I mean, now, like you said, if that side doesn't win HOH, obviously it's probably going to be Kyle and Alyssa who are put on the block. Uh, so, like, I think Turner is playing possibly the best game left, just because he's managed to like lower his threat level a bit.
I think Turner's played a good game, but the problem is he's not playing an upfront game. But a game like his is eligible to make a deep run, and if he's sitting at the final two with a Alyssa, with a Taylor, with a Brittany, like people are gonna probably be more willing to vote him because he was always in these alliances and always at the right place at the right time, and he was always included. So that's a big portion into his game. I don't think he led a charge on much of anything, but he was almost always included, except for the first majority alliance.
Yeah, I he kind of reminds me of Matt from Big Brother 12 a little bit. The guy who was like he was a genius, but
The
he said he
diabolical
was
genius.
yeah he was like an evil genius. But I'm not saying Turner's a genius, but he just the way he plays the game and his mannerisms are very similar. I feel.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. But Matt, I think Matt was a lot smarter than Turner. No offense, Turner.
Yeah,
Um, and he was more aware of the game. I think Turner goes where he's kind of pulled and led towards, and that's a downgrade for his game. But like I said, he gets included in a lot of things. He hasn't really ever been targeted. He was put on the block one time, um, and that was this week. So like he's been playing a pretty good game. Um, Definitely on the top or half. I just feel like
I,
he's in a good position.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like Kyle will be targeted, and then Monty will be targeted soon, and Taylor will be targeted soon, and then when it comes down to that, and Michael will be targeted soon. So when it comes down to that, if like Turner can get himself to the end with like a Alyssa, Brittany, and Terrence like Final Four, that's probably our worst case scenario. But like I feel like he kind of just runs it from there on out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, so, so, like, how would you power rank these eight?
Uh, let's go Michael number one. I would say now. I'm not saying in terms of winning the game. I'm saying in terms of who's played the best game so far. Michael, uh, Monty, Kyle, Turner, Taylor, Brittany, Terrence, and then Alyssa. Alyssa's dead last for me now.
Yeah, so I think the one who's played the best game is Michael, so far. And I think Kyle, to me, I think Kyle's the reason why I think Kyle's the best player is because he's willing to play the most self-interested. He's willing to put his game above everybody else's game, and not everyone's willing to do that.
That's true.
So that's the one thing that Kyle has over everybody else is that he is probably the most self-interested player in the house. Like if he thinks he's in trouble, he will do whatever it takes to get himself out of trouble. Where Joseph this week was shown, I'm staying with my guys and staying with my alliance. While Kyle was like, no, Terrence, come here. Listen, I gotta tell you something. I gotta keep myself safe. And he kept himself safe. Where if Joseph probably did that, Kyle might be out on the outs here now. But since Kyle put all that work in before Joseph even realized what the hell was going on, Terrence stuck with Kyle.
Yeah. So what going back to what you're saying, I feel like Joseph's loyalty cost him in the end more, and Kyle was willing to be a little bit more cutthroat. And like you said, it ended up saving him, especially when you have an outsider like Terrence as the HOH. So
Right. It, like I say, it all depends on the player's motivation. It's not just them as a player, but you have to see their motivation. Like, are they loyal enough to go down with the ship? Are they willing to sell anybody upriver to better their game? There's not that many players who are willing to do that, and those are usually the better players that ever play.
I think it's also like at this point, for a while, I was like, oh, like Terrence isn't gonna make the merge. Like I mean, the jury, if he does, he's probably like soon after. But I'm starting to get a feeling that like Terrence is probably gonna, if he gets nominated, he's just gonna be a pawn until like pretty close to the end. So I see a good scenario for him making it to the end now.
There's a chance he can drag to the end by a Kyle, by a Michael, by a Monty. I don't maybe not Monty, but I could see Kyle and Michael if they have the opportunity, they're gonna take Terrence.
But I think Turner could as well if he
Mhm.
can get enough footing here. It's just though like what I just said, like Turner could make the final four with the three lesser players like Alyssa, Brittany, and Terrence. But it also is likely that one of the big three, like biggest threats, or four biggest threats in Michael, Monty, Kyle, and Taylor, that they all, that one of those four at least will make the final four just because, like you said, the house is so divided and so HOH dependent, and they're all strong enough to win veto comps. So like I don't see our worst case scenario final four playing out. I do think we'll have some power players there.
So who would you be disappointed at this point to win the game?
Alyssa, Terrence, or Brittany.
See, I don't think Brittany deserves to be in that. She's been in the majority for most of the game.
Yeah.
I think Alyssa and Terrence at this point have played like they had no idea what's going on. Brittany's been
No.
included in the Girls Alliance. She's been included the old school alliance. She's included the leftovers. I feel like the only reason Brittany's not getting recognized more is because she's working with the Michael.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that is. Uh, I haven't really heard it straight from her, but maybe she did say it at some point. Maybe that has been her strategy. That if people do know that her and Michael are super close, they're going to target him before they target her. So
Right. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think she's playing amazing, but I don't think she's playing horrible either.
yeah, she
So,
definitely hasn't been clueless like the other two.
like Terrence and Alyssa had no idea what was going on for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
So, and
Terrence didn't have any idea what was going on until he won the HOH pretty much the entire game.
yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think Terrence and Alyssa, I think their only chance is to be up with each other, maybe a Brittany or Taylor. The problem is, I think Taylor has such a good story that she's probably going to win in a lot of scenarios, even if she didn't play the best game. I think a lot of people are going to want to give her the money because of her story about how she came back. So,
That's why I don't think there's as good of a chance as her getting to the end as like a Monty. Like out of the, I would say like we said the four biggest threats. I think Monty has the best chance to make it to the end because Taylor, like you said, her story's too good. Kyle has the showmance, which paints an obvious target on him, and then Michael is just too good at comps. So to me, that leaves Monty as the most likely to get to the end out of like the quote unquote bigger threats.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Like I said, this HOH will just tell us so much
It's
that
huge.
it's so huge. I know Kyle isn't the biggest fan, but I think he's I like to see self-interested players, and so it's kind of cool. It's fun to watch someone be self-interested and willing to. He's willing to sell his showmans out. He's willing to sell his allies out, his best friends in the house. He don't care. He's willing to sell him the bag of goods. He thinks he has magic beans in his pocket, and he's trying to give it to people. It's just he's willing to sell whatever he can to get further in the game, and it's kind of funny to watch, even if it costs him his game. Like I don't know. I just he's so active, and so that's also helpful.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, say 10 years from now, we look back on this season and you're going to remember Kyle because he was, a lot of the story, like, kind of revolves around him, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you got this guy who he's in a showmance, but he literally hid his alliance from her for a month. And
Almost voted
then
her out.
and then he sold out that same alliance to save himself, basically. Which I mean, you
Right,
have to do, but he he basically started and blew up the leftovers, and kept his true number one out of that the entire time.
right.
Well,
Yeah,
not even trying to hide the showmance at this point. Like at first they were trying to hide it. Now like they don't even care.
yeah, I know. It's. I mean, he's playing wild, and he doesn't even need to play wild. Like it's just so. What do you think of the episode? It was kind of lackluster, I think, a little in a
Yeah, it
way.
was. I knew it was gonna happen. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I would have preferred them to speed up the evictions, and then we get the HOH comp.
That's what
And
I wanted
I
too.
wanted
I
to see
wanted
that
them to
HOH
get
comp
right
so
to it.
bad.
So
It's like
I don't need a lot of backstory before the evictions when we already know who's going home.
right,
Like it's a waste of time.
right. I mean, like the Joseph pitch, like that was fine and dandy and all, but like that was fine. But like, don't do the interviews. Hey, we'll get to the interviews. It'll be on Paramount Plus if you want to watch them. Cool. I'm cool with that. I don't need to be on live on screen. I don't need to hear Jasmine talk about the leftovers when, oh yeah, I kind of had a feeling. You only had a feeling because they told you you were getting voted out. So It's just
The only time I like the like interviews are after like a huge backdoor or like blindside, like pretty much like that's like when it was something like tonight where they both pretty much knew they were going. I
right,
feel like I don't need to see that.
right. Like when Amira got voted out, that was fun to watch.
Exactly.
But like it's just or Nicole and Daniel, you wanted to watch them, the big dumb duo themselves.
Yeah. So do you see Daniels like apparently I don't follow him, but like I don't think I do at least. Maybe I did after I heard it just to like check it out, but on Instagram he's like going live and like calling all these players dumbasses and stuff like from this season. It's like, oh, bro, you were the most delusional one there.
Yo, he legit used DeVito and sent his number one ally home.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like,
And he says all these people don't know how to play the game and he's only watching because Terrence is still in, and Terrence was like the one person who voted to save him, basically.
what, what an idiot. I'm sorry. He just
Yeah.
he's not what I wanted to be in my preseason. I drafted him. He's gone. I don't even know who I have left. I think I have Taylor left, and I think that's it.
I have
Yeah,
I just have Kyle. I think
yeah.
that's it.
I had Taylor left because I drafted Paloma and I drafted Daniel and I drafted Joseph.
Yeah, I should have drafted Joseph over Pooch.
Thank
I
you for
took
that.
Pooch right before him,
I was gonna take Pooch too.
and I mean I took Amira first. A lot of it was because she's from like basically my hometown, like town right next town over.
To be
But
fair, she was playing all right, but she was
yeah,
playing too openly good.
yeah, she played too good too early, I think.
Hmm. So,
And then
uh,
Jasmine was handed to me because nobody wanted to pick her.
oh man, you didn't want that butter bean?
No, I don't want
You,
that whip ass can of buttered beans or whatever the fuck she said.
you look better than a fresh. What she say? You look better than a fresh baked cornbread to Julie or something like that. I'm not gonna lie. I so wanted her to be on the outside with Turner. Oh,
Oh, that would have been
it was
hilarious.
so funny. It was
I bet
so
you
funny.
Turner was like, thank God. Like,
He did not like her at all.
yeah, no, that was his festy bestie too.
Oh man, he did. I miss his. I'm gonna miss his confessionals about Jasmine though.
Yeah.
That was the best. I like Turner way more than I anticipated. I was gonna like him.
So I think like from a lot of the seasons, they're all like friends afterwards and stuff. Like,
Mm.
I mean, like with what Daniel's saying and stuff. Like, is he really gonna be friends with everybody? Like, are Jasmine and Turner gonna be friends? Like, I don't think so.
No, probably not. I think they will be friendly, but I don't think they'll be friends.
Yeah,
They
I
won't
probably.
they won't be going out to dinner all the time, but they see each other, they'll say hi and ask how they're doing.
So, do you know what day we're on?
Um 40 something, I believe.
Isn't this season a little bit shorter?
I think it's like 68 days, 69 days, something like that.
So, will there be another double? You think, or
I'd have to look into that. I don't remember exactly how many days. I know it's shorter. I can look and see when the day is right real quick. Um,
do you remember in All Stars when they did the triple eviction and it like wasn't interesting at all?
yeah, that was it happened too late in the season.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
that season sucked.
Yeah, it was so bad. So the 21st. So we still got a while. Is that really the end? Oh no, no, that's the Survivor.
Survivor starts the 21st, I think.
Yeah, I don't know when the season ends. But yeah, I don't know. I think I maybe we'll get another double, maybe a traditional. The problem is the doubles aren't as effective as they used to be because all these giant alliances are in the house.
Yeah.
Um, so that's probably why they went the split house route. Like I said, it ended up working out for them, but it didn't, and it didn't. It wasn't it wasn't their doing it. They lucked into it. So, can you like you couldn't predict the Terrence win the HOH.
Oh hell no.
So I mean, so this episode literally amounted to nothing. We got that backstory. We got more backstory. We had the two interviews, and then we got to see them interact for 30 seconds. That was the
Yeah.
episode. We did get to see them Joseph argue with everybody, which I don't understand what he was pitching for. He was throwing Turner under the bus too, which he needed Turner's vote.
Yeah.
Like if anybody's going to keep him, it would have been Turner, not Alyssa.
I don't. He should have focused his 100% attention to
I,
Turner.
Turner and Terrence.
Yeah,
So
but I also think that I don't know he did go and say I guess they thought his bromance was more threatening than the showmance, but like I think there were other reasons too. I mean,
yeah, like I said, they knew that he was going to be able to work with the other side of the house.
yeah,
That's why. I mean, that was a huge reason why. So, which come on, like yeah, I'd get rid of him too. Like he's a dangerous player.
yeah. It was the right time for them to make a move on him, I guess.
I mean, anybody on that side, that was the right move because he was never going to work with them over a Taylor, a Michael, a Monty, Brittany. So
So you mentioned that Brittany and Michael said they're going to try to play the middle of this, but I
they
just
were
don't think that was
originally,
going to
yeah,
work.
they were originally their plan going into this week. They wanted Kyle to go over there, maybe take out Joseph, and then they play with Monty, Taylor, and be on act like they're on their side and Turner, but then go to Kyle's side and be like, oh yeah, we're on your side. But the way they had the house divided, it really bonded the four. So like they all came to realization that that four is probably doing the same thing that we're doing. That's bonding. That's coming up with sticking together. Yada yada yada. And so that was their original plan throughout the week, but ended up shifting as the week went on.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting too how do you think if they didn't have this twist that we wouldn't see such a divided house?
Oh
Do
no,
you?
there's no chance of it happening.
Yeah,
I think they might have been able to maybe take out a Monty or Joseph or something like that with an HOH running right around here, but I don't think it would have been nearly as divided and clear cut sides like it is without the twist.
yeah, and I don't know, I can see Michael and Brittany and Monty and Taylor's side. If anything, they're gonna try to pull Turner in if they don't win HOH. I guess
Right.
that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see it. Like I said, it all comes down to this HOH. We'll find out more. I heard it might be the tiny veto, which is weird competition for HOH. But if that's the case, then I think Alyssa, Taylor have a chance because they're smaller hands. I feel like it's better to be smaller in this tiny veto than it is to be bigger. You know what competition I'm talking about.
Uh, just describe it again. Like, when have they
So
done it?
they have to like stack with their hands and then like get to the veto. Like Davon won it in All Stars.
Okay, I remember now. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it seems weird, but we'll see. I'm interested to see how it goes. I'm really enjoying the season. Are you?
Yes.
I think
Top
it's
10.
I don't know if I'll put it that far, but it's definitely one of the better besides 20 the best in like 6 seasons.
Yeah, I like 20 a little bit more still, but
Yeah. But if you take 20 out, it's better than 19, better than 21, better than 22, better than 23.
hands down.
So, um, and then
The only
I think 18 is a little underrated, but I don't know how I'd rack them together just yet. It depends on how the finale goes, the end game goes, and I think 17 is like a top 10 this season for me. So,
I like 17 too. I don't,
hmm
and you know me, I don't hate 16 as much as everyone else, even
yeah,
though it started the nonsense. I think the cast was great.
yeah, I'm not a huge 16 fan, but I don't know if I think that's it on my end. You have anything else to add before we get off of here?
Not really. I mean, I just think so much comes down to this HOH. Whereas if
Yeah.
we had an HOH, we'd have a little bit more to dive into here. But
Yeah, I really wanted a quick HOH this like
uh,
if we're gonna have a lot like to have a live HOH would be this week, and you not even put them together. Like you imagine this like here the HOH comp don't get a chance to talk. Like oh
and so I don't watch I watch some feeds, but not as much as you probably.
yeah
But I feel like this, like, when they do the HOH, it's always at like kind of a random time. Like, I never know, like, you don't
yeah,
know when it's going to
and you
happen, and they
don't
don't.
only get to see it. You don't always get
Yeah,
to see it,
yeah,
so
exactly.
you just get to see who won. Which it's just like I don't even know if I want to be spoiled. I might not even watch the feeds. I just want to. It's gonna
Yeah,
be hard for me.
yeah. It's going to be hard not to watch feeds between now and Sunday because there's just so much that
Right.
could happen.
It's gonna be
But
impossible. But like being able to watch the competition live and not know would be ideal. But I don't think I'd be able to hold out.
if I had known, like, if Sunday we could see the whole competition and it would be live, I might try and hold out, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Also,
No.
I go on Twitter and it like will accidentally get spoiled for me, and I'm like, oh,
Right. Yeah, it's so easily spoiled. So and so's HOH. So yeah, but that's about does it for us. We're really enjoying this season. We're just waiting on this split house and see who become HOH and really see where the season's going to take us. We've been on a roller coaster ride throughout this entire season. Some really bad and some really good things about the season. So, but thank you guys for watching. Please give us a like, subscribe to any of our podcast locations. We're on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Podbean. We would really appreciate it. Join our Facebook group. It means a lot to us. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.
follow us on
Bye.
Twitter.
Oh, follow us on Twitter too. Thanks.